Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cardiac Rehab Home Exercise Circuit. Today we're going to do the blue version of the exercise circuit. This is the easier of the three versions that are in your home program booklet. And if you're feeling a little bit stronger and a little bit fitter after you've tried this a few times, feel free to move up to the red and then the green version. If you need any advice with those and when to move up, please contact the Cardiac Rehab helpline and you can have a chat with one of the team. Today we've got a few pieces of equipment to use. I've got a chair with arms on it if I need a little bit of support when I'm doing one of the exercises. I've got some weights here. I have some 1 kilogram dumbbells. If you can't get hold of any dumbbells, I've got some tins to use for a little bit of weight when we're doing the exercises. And lastly, I've got an exercise step. If you haven't got one of these, you can use the bottom step of your stairs at home. Okay, let's get started. So our first exercise of the day is going to be our tricep extensions. We're going to do a minute on each exercise. Today I'm going to use our tins for this exercise and I'm going to keep my feet moving all the way through. Turn side on so you can see what I'm doing. Start with my hands in this position here, keeping a good solid posture and try to extend our arms back. Keeping that posture. And we're going to do a minute on each exercise, keeping those feet moving. Remember, if you've had cardiac surgery, these exercises have to be done very slowly and in a controlled motion. If your chest starts to hurt when you're doing any of these exercises, just slow yourself down and have a little rest. If you feel like you're getting chest pain, like angina, please do stop and follow your GTM protocol. Nice and steady, keeping those feet moving, keeping the arms working. 10 seconds left, keep going. And that's our minute. So I'm going to put my weights down, keeping my feet moving. Have my chair here for a little bit of support if I need it. Our next exercise in the book is our knee raises. So trying to get those knees up, nice and steady. If you need the support, you can either face your chair and use the chair for support. Just taking the knee up as high as you feel comfortable with. If you don't need the support, ideally don't use it, because we're trying to work on the balance as well as getting that breathing rate up a little bit. This is one of our harder exercises, so if you're feeling good, you can up the pace a little bit. But again, if you need a little bit of a breather, you can take the knees a little bit lower and not go quite as quickly. The idea of the exercises is that we do get a little bit short of breath and we do get a little bit of sweat on the brow. But that's at whatever pace you feel comfortable with. Keep going. 10 seconds left. Excellent. Okay, I'm back to a little walk on the spot. Our next exercise, using the weights or your tins, we're going to have our elbows in at our side, good posture, nice upright, palms facing out over, and we're going to curl the arms up to the shoulders, keeping the feet moving and maintaining that really good posture. And what I don't want is for you to fall forward into this position or for you to really swing your arms. It's got to be a nice controlled movement. We're recovering a little bit on this exercise, giving our legs a little bit of a rest before we move on to the next slightly harder leg exercise. Thinking about your posture. It's good. And when you're doing the arm exercises, if they feel very easy, you can up the weight slightly. If you maybe want to use something at home that's a little bit heavier, you could perhaps use milk bottles with the handles on. Or a lot of shops sell dumbbells fairly cheaply. And that's our minute there. So again, we'll pop our weights down and move on to our next leg exercise, which is going to be a lunge. So again, if I want to use the chair, I can do. And we're going to step a leg back, bend that front knee, and bring the feet together. Nice and steady. Trying to maintain our good posture. Don't want to see you bending right forward like this. We'll see a nice upright posture, nice and balanced. Ideally, if you don't need the chair, don't use it. But I appreciate it can be quite difficult if you don't have that chair to hold on to for a little bit of support. I want to try and see a little bit of bend on that front knee. We shouldn't be stepping back like this and not getting any knee bend. But if your knees are a little bit sore when you're doing this one, you don't have to go quite as deep with it. You can just do a slight bend. 10 more seconds, keep going. Doing really well. Right, good, and back to a little march on the spot. So thinking about your breathing, you should be comfortable, should be in control, but you certainly should be feeling a little bit warmer by now. Our next exercise, again, we're going back to our tins here. We're going to do a shoulder raise. So again, posture's key. Good open chest, good upright posture. Taking the arms out to the side, having our palms facing down over, and keeping that posture. We don't want to see you bending forward into this position. It's got to be an open chest. This one's one of the more difficult arm exercises. Your shoulders do get a little bit tired as the minute progresses. It's over before you know it, so keep going. 30 seconds left. Keep those feet moving all the time. If your feet are completely stationary, we don't get that blood circulation through the legs quite as efficiently, and sometimes that can make you feel a little bit lightheaded. So keep moving. 10 seconds left. Excellent. Shoulders might be burning a little bit now. Keep going. Excellent. There's your minute. Popping those weights down. And our next exercise, we're moving on to the step. Again, if you struggle because you don't have a step box, you can use your bottom step of your stairs at home, or maybe the step into the porch on the back door. And we're going to be using a wall for a little bit of support if you have one. You can maybe move a chair around if you need it for a little bit of support. But again, trying to step on and off at a nice steady pace. Stepping on, stepping off. Once you're comfortable with where the step is, try not to look at it. A lot of people make the mistake of staring at the step the whole time they're doing the exercise, when really we want to be working on that posture at the same time and working on the balance. The pace that you go at determines how difficult the exercise is. So if you're feeling like your breathing is struggling a little bit at this point, we can slow right down. Or if you're feeling pretty good, you can go a little bit faster. Just to note, what we don't want is for you to be tippy-toeing on the edge of the step. You've got to try and get a good solid footing. And there's your minute. Excellent. Keep those feet moving. Our next exercise is a bit of an easier one. chance to have a little rest in amongst these exercises. Sitting ourselves down on the chair. Try to still use your postural muscles to sit upright. We're going to take the leg out in front and relax. Leg out in front and relax. Try to contract the big muscle on top of your thigh. Try not to slump back into the chair and fully relax. We're still trying to work on that posture as we're doing the exercise. Chance to catch your breath a little bit. So the next exercise is a little bit harder than this one. Slow and steady, catching your breath. You shouldn't be feeling any pain or discomfort across your chest. If you are, we'd advise that you slow down and use your GTN spray. You shouldn't be feeling adversely breathless. If you are, you've maybe worked a little bit too hard and you need to adjust your level a little bit. Definitely should be starting to get a touch of sweat on the brow at this point. 5 seconds left on this one. Excellent. So our next exercise using the chair is our sit to stand. Now it's very, very important with this exercise that we work on our posture. So one of the problems I see with this exercise is that people go to sit up and they bend forward like this. So trying to maintain the posture, we stand ourselves up. You know where the chair is, keeping that good posture. We sit ourselves down and repeat. If you need a little bit of help, that's what the arms of the chair are for, but ideally put the emphasis on your leg muscles as you do the exercise. If you want to make it a little bit harder, we can pop our arms up and slowly go down, but we can still use our hands on our knees or on the arms of the chair there to make it a little bit easier. 30 seconds to go on this exercise. This is probably the hardest one that we do. Really works the big leg muscles and gets your heart pumping quite hard. Keep going. 10 seconds left. And that's your minute on that exercise. I'm going to come back to standing and back to marching on the spot, and we're going to go back to our weights for the next exercise, which is a dumbbell punch or a tin punch. Thinking about your posture again and extending those arms out one at a time. Again, what I don't want to see is you rounding the shoulders, falling forward with your posture. Keep that good upright position, keep those feet moving. The faster you go, the harder the exercise is. For those of you who've had cardiac surgery, we don't want you thrashing wildly with this exercise. It's just a nice controlled punch. 30 seconds left, keep going. That's it, 10, 15 seconds left, keep going. Start to feel it a little bit in the shoulder muscles as you're doing this exercise. 5 seconds. And that's the minute there. Now we're on to exercise 10, which is our walk or march on the spot. We're going to set away now, using those arms, using those legs. And with this exercise, of course, the faster you go, the harder the exercise is. So we can up that pace a little bit, or we can slow it right down. And you don't have to walk on the spot. If you want to, you can walk around your home at this point. You could walk up and down your garden for the minute. But as long as you're keeping those legs moving and trying to push your breathing a little bit. If you notice on this exercise, the options as we move up the levels onto the red and the green exercise, and maybe introducing a little bit of a faster march, or even perhaps a little jog if you feel comfortable, but we can get to that as the weeks progress. Keep those feet moving. 10 seconds left, keep going. Nearly there. Get that breathing working. And that's our minute up there. Okay, so 2 exercises to go. Our second to last one is our upright row. So again, thinking about our posture, keeping the feet moving, keeping that good upright posture. Hands out in front, facing ourselves. We're going to pull up to the chin, keeping those elbows above the hands at all times. So the elbow drives the movement rather than the hands. What I don't want to see is the hands pulling up like this. It's got to be that elbow up and squeezing the shoulder blades as you get up to the top. So as this exercise gets a little bit harder, as your muscles get a little bit more tired, you should feel it in the shoulder and in the shoulder blades at the back. Getting that real squeeze, going up to the chin and down. 20 seconds to go. Keep going, guys. You're doing really well. Nearly finished the circuit for today. Nice and steady. Keep going. 5 seconds left. Okay, that's your minute. So we're on to our last exercise for this circuit, which is our stand and squat. So we can use the chair here for a little bit of support. The idea again is good posture, tummy tucked in, shoulders back. You're trying to feel as though your weight is in the heels, and we're going to make your bum go back ever so slightly and you sit down a little bit. Now, what I don't want to see is your knees sliding forward and your heels coming off the floor. It should be just a little sit down. Trying to keep that chest up, shoulders back, doing that little dip. The stronger your legs are, the deeper we can go. But to begin with, it might just be a little bend. And you'll notice the difference. If we do this correctly, you'll feel the big muscles on the back of the legs there work quite hard when we do it correctly. If we're doing it incorrectly, you'll feel the heels come up and you'll feel the big thigh muscles on the front of the legs working hard. So nice and steady, keep going. 20 seconds left, keep going. Got that chair for support, use it. 10 seconds, keep going. Nearly there. And that's our minute. I was watching the clock there. So that's our exercise circuit finished. That's just your blue level, that's the introductory level. If you felt like that went well, you can feel free to repeat the exercises again to make it around a 25-minute workout for the main exercise. If you feel like that was enough, that's a brilliant start. As the weeks progress, we can make the exercises slightly longer and slightly harder by moving up the levels. But there are other videos if you want to watch those where we do the slightly harder exercises. And again, if you want to ask us about any of the problems that you have, please do give us a call. Now that we've finished the circuit, it's important that we cool down properly. So if you have a look on the website, there is a link to our cool down video where I show you a few stretches and a nice way to cool down. It's important that we do them. It's important that we don't just stop now that we've finished the exercise, because that can make our blood pressure drop a little bit too quickly and can make you feel a touch unwell. And of course, we want to stretch the legs and the shoulders and arms out a little bit so the muscles don't feel too sore tomorrow. So please go and check out our cool down video on the website. Thanks a lot.